Okay, Biomega Volume 2 review. It's been a little while. I haven't gotten around to reading this, but I finally did it. The mystery is deepening hard. So much going on in this volume. Of course, Nihei's artwork doesn't miss a step. It's even more dark and gritty and refined in this one. And I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. The action in this volume is crazy. I'm going to try and go as in-depth as possible, but, I got hit with a lot of information this volume. Can't remember all of the names and everything, but we get a lot of clarification and deepening into certain aspects. So I want to talk about the backstory that this volume expands first. We find out that, Mars was, colonized about 700 years prior to the start of this series. And the N5S virus broke out there, and the drone epidemic spread throughout Mars, and within 4 days of them, having built colonies on Mars, which took 200 years to build, the entire civilization was destroyed. And basically, the DRF has been, instigating investigations into Mars and things like that, trying to purposely get a grasp on the N5S virus to have a monopoly over the world. And not only that, they want to spread it. Their whole mantra of baptizing humanity in the N5S virus. And you see a lot of the people that work for them and the agents of the DRF are basically have some sort of variations of infection that are under their control. As it seems, it's very strange to me. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. Like, I have no idea what's going on. You see, Toa Heavy Industries at the beginning of this chapter is no more. It gets destroyed at the beginning of this volume. Like, absolute explosion, the self-destruct mechanism. ZOICHI goes in. I was just like, the entire volume, I was just on the edge of my seat. It's like, yo, each chapter, the mystery just keeps deepening. We find out about Dr. Kurokawa, the head of Toa Heavy Industries, and his daughter, which is incidentally ZOICHI's mother, and all of the other, artificial humans was the mother. Then they were bred inside of her. And we find out about their birth process and how long it took to develop them. That 1 year is like 50-something years of development for them. So they were able to spawn a bunch of these. And you get more insight into their abilities. We get introduced to some other ones. We saw one dude at the end of the last volume, and he was completely taken out by one of the public health services agent. And we found out that Public Health Services is actually a subsidiary of the DRF, so that was clarified. I was thinking it was like a separate power or entity, but no, it's like part of that. So that was really good to find out. And the same agent comes through trying to get Kozlov. He goes in after Kozlov. You see Kozlov with this, he has himself one of these terminal things, and since all of the artificial humans are bred like in sort of like brother and sister pairs, it's very weird. One of them is like a humanoid thing, and the other one is like a digitized kind of Cortana from Halo type of thing that resides in a little console or whatever. Like you have Fuyu for ZOICHI, who's in his helmet. We meet I forget her name. It was Mizunoe. Shin Mizunoe is the male counterpart, and he is inside a terminal as well. And then you have, I believe her name is Nishu or something like that. I can't exactly remember. I think it was Nishu. But we're introduced to Nishu and Shin Mizunoe, and basically one of the last other remnants of Toa Heavy Industries and their agents so far that we know of. And she goes in, saves Kozlov. That whole scene with the train and everything like that, and them engaging on that, I was just like, yo, this shit is epic, this shit is beautiful. The battles in this series are nothing to sleep on. Yes, the worlding and how everything is developing and the in-depth intricacies of everything is crazy, but the battles, when they happen, they go in. Like, for example, the 3 battles we get, that battle on the train, fucking epic. ZOICHI going in on some one-man army, Rambo style, I'm going to go save whatever I can of Toa Heavy Industries at the beginning of this chapter, taking over fighter planes, using Fuyu to manipulate them and control them, shooting off missiles into the ships. And I was just like, yo, how is he so beast? Then he goes in there and takes everyone out single-handedly and makes his way to his mother, who is basically infected with the virus at that point, and there's really nothing he can do. Even after he takes out the last goon that's left with his sick little enhancements and whatnot, he's, all of which is such beautiful action. He's unable to save her. It's really sad. We get flashbacks into them talking about the history of the N5S virus, and Fuyu saying goodbye to her mother. and everything like that. So it's very intense, very emotional. And then the other battle we get was, you know, I forget her name, it was like Spindaru or something, the little string, like, spindle lady that we saw in the first one, whose face is all covered up in Volume 1, who's with that other public health services operative. We see her again, she confronts Zoichi, and she's beast, yo. She's using like some crazy like sorceress type of magic and whatnot, like hovering in the air, summoning these little black, like, sort of like ghetto path from Naruto rods, and like slamming them into Zoichi's body. And Zoichi is just, the artificial human strength is insane. How much their body's recovery capabilities, and just how much they can. When you see the people trying to saw off Zoichi's arm, and they can't do anything, it doesn't work. He gets shot with a missile in the chest. All right, still going, still going. He gets hit by this woman, gets tossed around like a rag doll, still going. Even to the point where he picks up his motorcycle in his hand, and it just like makes eye contact with her and jumps off of this little into this little ravine to escape. I'm just like, yo. Zoichi is the truth. Zoichi goes hard, and Nishu is no exception. This other, you know, agent that we got introduced to, she's beast. I really like her design. I really love how she went in against that dude. And she reveals, you know, Kozlov's whole relation to everything, and that his father, Life, the dude that raised him, was actually one of the founders of the DRF, and all of that, and how, and we get another big reveal at the end of the volume, which I'm going to talk about in a second, but basically causes starting to question whether his father had a hand in the events that are taking place now. And it's very weird because apparently his father was alive 200 some odd years ago, so that makes me wonder, like, was his father another proponent of the immortality that we see at the end of this volume, or is he just like, I don't even know. I have no idea how it would work, how it goes down. But in any case, granted, I'm sure we'll get the explanation. The timeline is just very expansive over how long these things have been developing, how long the DRF has been instituted, how long Toa Heavy Industries was planning their retaliation, and now that the DRF is like running the world basically. Most of the world has been turned into drones. We have very far and in between people who are seen that are human left, and the sickness that's taking place. You have DRF agents like raping zombified drone humans and whatnot. I'm just like, yo, this is dark. This is so dark. Oh my goodness, this shit is dark. Nihei was just going in this volume. He's going in on all aspects. Another thing we found out about is Aeon Green, and that, you know, with Fuyu investigating her, analyzing her chromosomes, and then with the reveal we get at the end of this chapter that she has actually 24 chromosomes, and that she's not really infected. It goes deeper than that. As it seems, she's not a typical accommodator. She's immortal, because we see this little flashback to one of Life's subordinates in the DRF from like 100 some odd years ago, and apparently she looks exactly like Aeon Green and all of this. So I'm wondering, has Aeon lost her memories? What's going on? How did she become Aeon Green? How does she tie into everything? And they say that girl that we saw at the very beginning of Volume 1, Rirudo, is her name apparently, and that was one of the most gripping images from the beginning of Volume 1 that like really drew me in, was Rirudo's face. And apparently she was another immortal that they're comparing to Aeon Green, and they're like, we haven't seen anything like this. The DRF is just fiendish, yo, fiendish. However they're trying to use Aeon, I don't know. However this immortality thing ties into the N5S virus, I don't know. But we're starting to see the chain of command within the DRF as well, and it's fucking epic. We see these 3 new villainous figure summoned, in addition to the other agent from the Public Health Services Bureau that was going in against, you know, Nishu and killed that other Toa Heavy Industries guy in Volume 1, and he's like, well, I didn't need your help, why did they summon you for? And like, where's the other one? And apparently like, oh, we've picked up traces of another Toa Heavy Industries survivor, so we dispatched them to go take care of him. And you tricked into thinking that Zoichi is sniped by this guy at like, and it looks like it's him. Zoichi easily takes him out, and I'm just looking at him like, wait, what? Like, this is one of those 4 great threats that we're just, because these guys look sinister. And then it turns out that Zoichi saves this woman who's not infected, right? And it turns out that she is the 4th one the entire time, tricked him into it, starts laying out the DRF plans before, like, destroying. She has, like, some little bomb plan that destroys the carrier that they're in. I'm just like, oh my goodness. These developments, like, every time I think I've got my hand on something, it just changes. We find out more information, all these convoluted plots surrounding the virus, surrounding the DRF, and all of these villainous figures I can't wait to see go in against Zoichi. We still have Spindaru who went in. That fight hasn't even been concluded because Zoichi got away. I want to see some of this action unfold because the action is really fucking good. Like when Zoichi is about to get his arm sawed off, and he just gets up and just goes in on the hand-to-hand, knocking everybody out. I'm just like, yo, the action in this series is so good, and yet the worlding is amazing. The cyberpunk and sci-fi elements are some of the best I've ever seen because it really dealt in like not so much words and things describing it, just in pure dialogue and art. Really sets the stage for how the world has changed and what's going on with this drone epidemic and everything like that. You just have to pay close attention and key into it, and you can really see the development that way. So I'm hype on Biomega right now. Volume 2 was just as good as Volume 1. It didn't have that shock value to me because I already understood what it was going to be. But it developed the story in such a great way. The pacing was amazing. The art was superb throughout. So many more questions than answers, honestly, that we got with this volume. I'm about to go read Volume 3 right now. I don't know if I'll do the review right after or whatever, but I have to read it right now because I just need to find out more right now. I really, really need to find out more. Let me know your thoughts on Biomega. Please, nobody spoil it for me because I'm going to be doing these reviews volume by volume, but let me know your thoughts. And if you want to talk about anything about volumes 1 or 2, or just the series in general, as long as you don't spoil anything, feel free. And, you know, what you think. If you haven't read Biomega, I still highly recommend, you know, go out and read it. Go out and read some Nihei work, because Nihei is a genius. And this volume just went so hard. And I like that, despite all the darker themes and all this crazy stuff going on, we still get, like, little moments of black comedy in there with, like, for example, Shin getting Kozlov the honey. And he's like, I don't really like honey, like, even though I'm a bear, I just don't really like honey. What are you talking about? And I like the fact that Kozlov also has Tira with him, and he gets one of these little terminal agents as well, one left with him by Fuyu and Zoichi. So it's pretty cool as to everything's happening. But now that Toa Heavy Industries is done, basically these remnants have to, like Nishu, Zoichi, they need to reconvene with Kozlov and everything, and that's the basic resistance we have to the DRF. If these guys get taken out, it's done. Humanity is done. And the you know, most ironic part about it is the last line of defense for the human race and stopping the DRF and their crazy baptismal ideas of the N5S virus and whatever deeper plans they have with this immortal stuff with Aeon Greed and their comedies and all of this stuff that's lurking on with the reveals at the end of this chapter. It's not even, you know, humans that are trying to save this. It's these artificial humans that I really am loving. Their design, how they were made, that they have compassion within them and they care. But at the same time, they're like beasts. Their bodies are just beasts. They can't be stopped. I'm loving how they go in. So hopefully we're going to get some crazy fights with these 4 particular special agents of the DRF because they look sinister. They look crazy. They look like they go in. And we need people going because, like, it's aside from Spindaru, Zoichi's just cleaning up anybody that comes their way. And of course that other public health agent that went in against Nishu, like, he's pretty beast as well. But let me know your thoughts. That's it for the Volume 2 review of Biomega. I'm loving this series. I'm loving Nihei so much. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Peace.